Good evening and welcome to Inside Speedweek. We're back to bring you coverage of the 2013 Kioti Tractor Pennsylvania 600 Speedweek, night number 2 at the Greenwood Valley Action Track. Rains and high winds hit the speedway early on, almost flooding the racetrack. Jerry and the Greenwood staff would go to work and work the racing surface back into raceable conditions, and by about 10 of 8, cars were on the track to put heat in their motors and to help finish off the run-in procedures. Once the track was ready, heat races flew through. Mike Kohler, a Greenwood regular, would gain the most passing points and draw the 5 pill for the dash. Kyle Lick would draw lucky number 1 and bring the dash to the green flag. Other competitors in the dash: Tyler Walton, Tim Buckwalter, Alex Bright, and Tyler Duvall. Lick would jump out to the early race lead and he would carry away to take the win and gain the pole for the night's main event. Tim Buckwalter would make a move on Tyler Walton about halfway through the race to gain the second starting spot. Buckwalter would finish second, but the team would have to change a fuel pump in between the dash and the feature, or he would not be able to compete. The story in the dash was when Mike Kohler caught the outside wall, and one of the strongest cars all night looked like he might be out for the night. Kohler was able to make repairs, and he would tack on to the 6th starting spot in the main event. It was now feature time. The field would roll away behind the front row of Kyle Lick and Tim Buckwalter. The only Greenwood winner in the history of Speedweek, Mike Dicely, would roll off from the 8th starting position in tonight's main event. Green flag would fly, and Kyle Lick would jump out with a good start. As the field raced through 1 and 2, Tim Buckwalter was in tow, but there would be an early yellow flag as Aussie Matt Simmons spun on the front stretch. Restart number 2, and Buckwalter would take advantage this time. As Kyle Lick goes to the top, Buckwalter slides in underneath him. To the wall, Tim Buckwalter leads. Kyle Lick would return the favor as they enter turns 3 and 4, sliding up, but Buckwalter turns down underneath and would secure the race lead going into corners 1 and 2. Tim Buckwalter would begin to drive away as a battle for 3rd developed. It was a 4-car battle between Walton, Duvall, Bright, and Kohler. Lap 8 now, and Tim Buckwalter is into lap traffic, trying to weave his way through the field to keep the distance he had gained. Not only was it Buckwalter in traffic, but the battle for second would get there as well. Lick, Walton, and Kohler diving and using the whole racetrack to work their way around traffic. The battle for second would continue between Lick and Walton as Kohler closed. Lick would bobble just the slightest bit, and Walton would take second, but a yellow flag for AJ Michael and Matt Simmons would neglect the pass. Lick would join Buckwalter on row number 1 for the restart. Buckwalter, using that bottom line, would hold the advantage, but Mike Kohler was the car on the move around the outside of Tyler Walton in a daring move up the middle into the runner-up spot. It would become apparent quickly that Mike Kohler was out to defend the home track territory. Kohler running the inside, Buckwalter up top. Opening night winner Tony DiMattia is barred deep in traffic and would not be a factor. Buckwalter would take the bottom line away from Kohler as Kohler showed his nose the lap before. The two would continue to battle, Buckwalter using the outside line most of the time, but occasionally he would dive to the tires to take Kohler's line away and keep him at bay. As the two raced through lap traffic, Tyler Walton, Kyle Lick, and Mike Dicely, the top 5, would start to close in. Kohler, pushing for everything he's got, would hop over the cushion occasionally and allow Buckwalter to get away. Tyler Walton would try to take advantage and grab second, but Kohler was able to hold him off. With Kohler left to defend Tyler Walton, it looked like Tim Buckwater would get away, but Buckwater trapped behind 2 lap cars, and Kohler would close back in. Kohler again tries to use the bottom, but Tim Buckwater would go back to the bottom in 1 and 2, and was able with one fail swoop to pass 2 lap cars and put the distance between himself and Mike Kohler that he needed to drive to the Speedweek victory. Tim Buckwater becomes the second ever Greenwood Valley Action Track Speedweek winner. Following Buckwater across the line, Mike Kohler, Mike Dicely, Chad Van Horn, and Tyler Walton.
I knew he was going to be tough, and after that dash, I thought we were going to roll around the curve the whole time, and thought to myself, man, if I don't get a good slider early on, I'm just going to follow around the curve. So I got it done, and then unfortunately ended up going to the bottom there. And Kohler showed me his nose to the bottom, and we jumped down there, and felt even better when we hit on the top. Just felt real good in a lot of traffic, felt like I could move around and go up the bottom, go low.
Don't forget, this Wednesday night, Speedweek kicks right back into action for the first ever wingless race during Speedweek at the JeffreyHoagRealtor.com Action Track USA. I'd like to thank Hyper Racing for their support on Inside Speedweek, and we'll be there to cover it all, so make sure you tune back in and find out everything that's going on inside Speedweek.